Hey, I'm Callie Lewis. You're watching Geek Brief TV. This is Brief 38. So I was hanging out in Podcast Alley, the popular forum where podcasters come together to learn, exchange information, complain, get help, pretty much whatever. People were pretty upset about some changes to the podcast directory in iTunes. Of most concern was the disappearance of the category-based top 100 lists. I did some investigation this morning, and it's just a temporary bug. The categorized top 100 lists will return. If you're a podcaster, you should also know iTunes is adjusting some categories which may require you to change a category tag in your feed. Do you remember the first time you saw somebody talking on a hands-free mobile phone device and you thought maybe they were talking to you and asked, "What?" Only to be subjected to a snobby early adopter inspired gesture indicating the guy was on the phone? Over time, we've gotten used to seeing people walking down the street having conversations with no one we can see, and now Motorola has released the smallest hands-free option I've seen so far. It's called the H5 Miniblue, and its innovative in-ear mic and earpiece avoid ambient noise by picking up the sound of your voice from within your ear canal. It's very, very small and has a 7.5-hour charge and a Bluetooth range of about 30 feet. If you have a website and you've ever tried to incorporate a forum for information gathering purposes, hopefully you didn't struggle the way I have. But if you don't find forums easy, you might want to try Wufoo. Wufoo is an internet application that helps you design and build an online form you can then add to your website. You can do contact forms, mailing lists, surveys, job applications, registrations, invitations, quizzes, my gosh, the list goes on and on. You design the form while Wufoo automatically builds the database on the back end that supports it while keeping your users' information organized and secured. That was a big breath. They're in the final phases of finishing the application and expect to have a stable version ready before the end of June. Every once in a while, I get a little PC envy because cool stuff gets built for you PC guys and they leave us Mac people out in the cold shivering like chihuahuas in the snow. Today, it's the Streamer MP3 application that I envy. It's a web-based tool that allows you to stream your MP3 collection to any browser. Now, there are several applications that do this, but this one seems to be one of the most versatile. You can share unlimited files and directories and protect and manage users and directories. You can also create playlists remotely from within your browser. I can already tell I have a Windows Media Server in my future. See, it's right here in this line. Sorry, I don't know. Uno más. I just found out about a guy who calls himself Bargain Jack. He's turned his love of finding great deals on the web into a really interesting enterprise. He promises to find us, his faithful readers, 21 tech deals and bargains every day. Some days he goes over and some days he goes under, but the goal, like in blackjack, is 21. Today, one of the deals is a Samsung LaserJet printer for 40 bucks. Very cool. If you've been waiting and waiting for access to PodShow's podcast delivery network, the doors will be opening very, very soon. In fact, you can pre-register for a PodShow Plus account now. Just go to podshow.com and click the Sign Me Up button. Don't shout me down if I'm wrong about this, but I think I've gone a whole month without asking you to vote for Geek Brief at Podcast Alley, and yet we're still number 11. Thanks to those of you who voted without being asked. Now, to those of you who haven't voted, I'm asking. I'm Callie Lewis, your fearless leader. I did some investigation this morning, and it's just a temporary bag. But did I say bag? Bit big.
Crazy.
Crazy, 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 crazy. And the snow. And yet we still, what did it say? We still number 11. And the snow.
Another PodShow video podcast. Stick it on your screen.